Hi there, Chris here, another quick tip for you all. In this video, we are going to take a look at painting the consoles on an Aeldari vehicle. And of course, we have as our example here a Harlequin Star Weaver. But this pretty much applies to, Falcon Grav Tanks, Wave Serpents, and anything else, especially if you've already, going to go ahead and leave the canopy clear, or the canopy is open like a lot of Dark Eldar ones. To get us started, we're going to use Abaddon Black for the console. Now this is pretty much just going to be a darker kind of console, and basically it all depends on what kind of color scheme you're going to go for, but often we stick with the darker color as our beginning. And what we're going to do to get this console effect started is we are going to basically do it like kind of like how we do gem effects, where basically we have the deepest color starting and then we slowly build brighter colors towards the bottom end of the surface, and that often kind of tricks the eye into thinking that they're looking into a somewhat translucent surface. Naggaroth Knight is next, and this is going to be the first little layer I lay on. Of course, I thinned it out just a little bit like a glaze, and then I lay another little bit layer down, pretty much like less than halfway down the console screen. What I'm going for here initially is kind of a magenta-like console display for this vehicle. That's just because, the vehicle itself has kind of got this purplish coloring to it. Screamer Pink is next, but before I lay the little Screamer Pink down, I mix it with the Naggaroth Knight, somewhat like a 1-to-1 mix ratio. You'll notice a lot of mixing in this episode, as we do want to create a very subtle transition into the colors. And so once we are happy with that first little layer, then we come back to the Screamer Pink and then begin to layer that down. And again, as you can see, as we're laying each layer down, we're building the color up towards the bottom portion of the console. You can see here, so slowly building it up. Again, it's going right from a black to that purple to that brighter magenta hue, essentially is what Screamer Pink is kind of like. And of course, we also take another little mixture there. And of course, if you're not entirely happy, as long as you have your colors on your palette, you can work fairly quickly here. Here, I'm laying in the next little part to the effect is that I'm taking the Screamer Pink and I'm applying it to the top portion as well, and this is representing the kind of spot highlight that often is associated with these kind of transitions where you're creating this translucent effect. And basically, again, it's like with all kind of gems, typically you do it with the white, but here we're going to slowly build it up with brighter colors. And as you can see there, we just built it up basically to the Screamer Pink. Emperor's Children is next, and basically what we're going to do here is we're going to just slap a little bit onto our palette, mix it into a bit of the Screamer Pink, and this is just going to give us our deeper color. And with this here, essentially, I'm going to begin drawing in the lines, the details of the console. And depending on how you want to go about, creating a design on your console here, I'm kind of going like with the atypical kind of like it's a radar dish, or like a little scanner or something or other. But you can pretty much do whatever you want in there. You can do like little crosshairs, you can do little blips here and there. It's entirely up to you as to what kind of design. Typically, we often see these little radar-like patterns on these little screens, be it rhinos, falcons, what have you. And that's just, because it's easiest to identify really what it is. Here you can see I'm laying the second line across those other lines that I created, basically drawing like a little pie shape with just 3 lines in through the center, and then I give this middle line a bit of a curve, just kind of representing, again, like it's like a radar cross section into the area. Then again, I take a little bit more of the Emperor's Children here, and I begin just reinforcing the lines, the deeper color being on the outsides of it, giving us that slight impression of a glow, as it were. So again, with the Emperor's Children here, again, I reinforce some of the corners, reestablishing just basically on the outer edges really is where I'm building some of that color up. Next we take White Scar, but I'm going to take a little bit of the Emperor's Children here and mix it in. Again, with these mixtures, pretty much kind of going for a 1-to-1, but it's often just a little bit off from that. Again, it's just, really kind of just mixing to what looks good to the eye initially, and then just laying it in. And you can see here I'm slowly building those lines up towards the central portion of the little console, and then I'll hit the outer edges of the lines where they touch the border of the display itself. And then with this little color here, I will slap a little dot here and there, representing little blips on the screen, because again, kind of want to indicate that those are, the little targets or something he's seeing on that little display screen. But again, gives it a little bit of visual interest and a little bit of variation. But essentially that is that. And again, if you want to take it a little bit further, we can come in here with some art coat and just basically apply a nice heavy layer onto the surface of that, of course, once it's all dry. And then that'll be pretty much it. It gives it that kind of glass kind of sheen, especially if this is something that's going to be seen all the time or what have you. But that is it. That is consoles on an Aeldari vehicle. It's as easy as that. So do not be afraid to give it a try. Well, I hope you found that quick tip useful and informative. You can watch another quick tip today on MiniWarGaming.com's Vault. Just click on the link in the video description below to watch it right now. If you're not already a Vault member, you can sign up for a free 7-day trial. Be sure to sign up for the Silver membership, and that will give you instant access to over 1,000 painting tutorials already in our Vault. And again, thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and happy wargaming.